Yeah, sure.
That would help me. Huh?
Sure, sir.
Sure.
So one last thing I need you to do, you can see one option called cam/mic in front of you on your screen. If you could just select that one, if you could cam/mic, just select camera and select show advanced option and select full high definition. This will give us the best resolution of your feed.
Camera, show advanced options, and then full high definition.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You are on the highest definition resolution of your feed.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Radhika, sir is connected. Uh,
Yeah, sure. Hi, sir. Good evening.
Very good
Sir, we
evening.
basically thank you, sir. So, sir, we basically have this summit that we had recently done that focused on resilient and sustainable supply chain. So our focus of the conversation was one, bringing onto the global scale that how the Indian supply chain industry has been changing, how we have leveraged on technology to the most, and also how we have emerged stronger in the post pandemic space. While we did see a bit of crippling in the beginning, when the pandemic hit, but how we have changed that whole scenario and how we stand tall today on the global scale. While we are already building on to a stronger supply chain, we'll also talk about that how we are fixing on the green line along with the bottom line. So these are the true. These are this has been the conversation flow which we had recently with some of the panelists, and this keynote that we are recording will be like run in the beginning of that, where your role will be basically to give an overall address. We address the issue of resilient and sustainable supply chain from a holistic and an overall perspective. So you
That's
could talk
perfectly. I
about the
want to.
digitization angle. You can talk about the technology contribution in helping us maintain a resilient supply chain, and how now we are focusing towards the sustainability side of it.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Sir, we are good to go, sir. Well, basically, I'll just as Radhika has understood, make you understood the content part of it. I'm just gonna brief you how the flow is gonna be. So there is gonna be an introduction of yours already by the anchor. So you just have to start straight away with the keynote. So basically, it's gonna be an hour-long summit, and it's gonna be shortened down for TV version as well for the TV episode. It's in half an hour thing. So I want you to keep it, as basically we're going to start the show with you, sir. After the anchor
Fair.
introduces, and you are going to set the context, and then after we move to a panel discussion of the CIO and the CFOs and all. So you have to basically start the thing, and all I need you to do is two things, sir. Basically, yeah, look towards the webcam and give your answer and the keynote. And basically, as it's not an interaction thing, you are basically opening up the stage for the other to speak. So you can start with the context, don't mention your name, sir. We have already will already do in a plate before the webinar. This thing starts, so you can straight away jump into the introduction of the context, what is going to be, and you can say whatever you have to say, sir. That's it. Okay, sir.
Just a minute.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, sir. So you can start whenever you're ready. Don't take your name. You can just say hi, and and you can start your basically we need a speech before we start the panel, and also that is this part we are recording. So you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Thank you, CNBC TV 18. And thank you, Apeksha. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, the entire team, for inviting me for this keynote address on the topic of one of the most, I would call it a very, very critical topic of the current times, resilient and sustainable supply chain. Now, during this COVID time, it was shown that probably the control, the robustness, the resilience, and the sustainability of the supply chain,
Sir,
even
sir,
the ethical part of it, yes.
Sir, I'm very sorry to stop you, sir. Sir, basically, the anchor name is different, sir. So you just need to say thank you, sir. And And thank you, CNBC team, for inviting me. And then you started, sir. We are
Okay,
not
thank you.
the. Thank you for. Sorry for stopping you on that.
It's all right. So, thank you, CNBC team, for inviting me for this keynote address on one of the most important topic of our current times, that is the resilient and the sustainable supply chain. I had an occasion to be at Glasgow, and this particular topic was one of the most favored discussion over there. They added on to it the ethical part of it, so it was resilient, sustainable, and ethical supply chain. Definitely. Now, during this pandemic, during this COVID times, it was seen beyond any reasonable doubt that countries which have control over the supply chain end to end, those who have got proper tie-ups, and those who ensure that the robustness, the resilience, the sustainability, and the ethical standards of that supply chain is retained, they are the country which are able to prosper, bounce back to their normal position even beyond that once the pandemic is over. Now today, India has emerged as one of the biggest growth markets globally. We are attracting investments, and you see that the kind of the way the way government is absolutely aggressive as far as attracting investments are concerned. And fortunately, the private sector, both domestic as well as international, they are also responding positively to it. So we have got a set of PLI schemes, production linked incentive schemes, that are aimed at increasing the manufacturing standards of India to the global best of the levels, and that is what is being taken forward in the infrastructure connectivity vertical. That particular stream, we see that the roads and the railways, the waterways and the civil aviations, the smart city concepts that have come in, the urbanization, how to manage the urbanization, how to manage it all the more so well, that is another concept. And in the green mobility field, especially, for example, the advanced chemistry cell PLI scheme is there. There is another PLI scheme for automobile components with lot of thrust, lot of emphasis on the green mobility part of it, on the advanced technology part of it. So these are industries are transcending to digitize. So digital solution is one of the key precepts, one of the key prescription for taking a particular supply chain to the level of resilience, sustainability, and ethical standards. Technology has to be there. If the digital version of supply chain, if it is digitally flowing from end to end, that means that the supply chain is robust, it is transparent, it is confirming to the best of the ethical standards, and it cannot be tampered so easily. So that is one area. Now, once we get into the digital spectrum, that means that both the planning and the execution, they are now synchronized. So I can give it an example. Suppose if we are planning a railway line, then you should be knowing that what other forms of connectivity is existing in that area, what are the other interventions that government and the private players are taking in that area. Then only such a planning will be a kind of holistic planning. That is very, very important. Now, you must have heard of a concept of Gati Shakti that our Honorable Prime Minister announced on 15th of August, just to kind of synchronize the initiatives, diverse initiatives, so that the delivery mechanism is brought to a very, very high standards of robustness, and the time and the cost overruns are plugged. The system is brought out from the silos, and a holistic approach, holistic delivery system is achieved. Now, these are the factors how we achieve the sustainability of it. Now, you see, this is a factor of different initiatives. They have to be kind of stitched together. Then only such a supply chain ecosystem is developed. So, digital version is one there. End to end kind of thinking is another. A holistic approach to the entire thing is third of the initiatives. And as you see, that the government initiatives are absolutely emphatic. It is clear that government wants to, before any new connectivity, government wants to get into the spectrum of all the preparedness. So end to end preparedness, they are trying to get into land acquisition and getting the approvals. Once all those things are brought into position, brought into place, then it is left for the private sector. It should be left to the private sector to take it forward, because government, they have shown the commitment that we are not in the we will be we will be just providing a kind of role of an enabler, and the actual move forward is to be taken by the private players. And that is where there is a synchronized initiative of both private and the public initiatives, and so that the entire thing can be taken forward. So it's a wonderful topic, and I'm sure that the speakers, the arguments, the questions that will follow on this particular topic of resilience and sustainability of supply chain, this is that will be very, very enlightening, and it will add on. I shall be grateful if the findings that are taken out of this entire conclave is sent across to me for a learning, and kind of I will also be watching through. And yes, in the current times, when India is trying to leapfrog to a global best of the standards, and this is the time when the world is also looking towards India because of its inherent strength of skill sets and the manpower that we have. It is very important that the supply chain that we create, the supply chain, both greenfield as well as those which are already existing, those supply chains have to be resilient, they have to be sustainable, they have to be robust, and they have to be ethically best of the standards, so that India can be globally best in the area of industry and otherwise. So thanks again to CNBC, and thanks to all the participants who are going to follow. And I'm sure this discussion will be very, very enlightening, and it will have a lot of takeaway out of this interaction. Thank you, CNBC, for inviting me again. Thanks, and best wishes for the speaker and for the entire day of the conclave. Thank you. Over.
Thank you, sir. I think that was perfect.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Just wanted to thank you for your time, sir. It was very nice. I think the content was very nice and appropriate, and also, sir, it's a big summit. It was like, we are just gonna end it with this keynote. So thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, you wanted to ask anything?
No, no, absolutely. When are you going to? I mean, it has been through this particular summit.
So basically, so the panel discussion and everything has been done.
It is your
Only the
ninth, no?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, we are gonna hear it on Saturday or Sunday. I will, Apeksha will let you know about the timing and the date
Right.
on TV, and also it is going to be live on the microsite, which is on 9th Thursday.
Great, great.
Okay, sir.
And really,
Thank you, sir.
I'm thankful. CNBC covers very, very contemporary topic and topics which are of great